Welcome, wonderful friends, to the Sunday Rune and Card reading. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a very special set of readings today. We are going to be guided in our readings with extra guidance, extra information from three, they're called dwarf planets. So we have Eris, Haumea and Makemake. And these planets they're called dwarf planets, but I want to voice the fact that the energy and empowerment that comes from them is by no means dwarf. If we consider that these planets are in the Kuiper belt, they're right out in the sort of distant galaxies, but actually Pluto sits very close to them, you know, relatively, in terms of our positioning to this space and time. And you know, Pluto, as we know, is by no means a dwarf energy. Pluto has massive energy, and so do these three. They are not necessarily shown on most of the sort of standard birth charts that we download, the natal charts. They are relatively recently known by us, which means that the energy of them has sort of entered the collective human consciousness in a greater way in more recent times, but they are very relevant to the transitions that we are going through at the moment, this space of accelerated growth and transition that is taking place for humanity as we move into the dawning of a new age. And so I was really guided to tune into something of their energy for today's readings. Interestingly enough, when I then looked at the chart for today for the moon is actually, interestingly enough, conjunct Eris. She's actually opposite Haumea. So there's a lot of this feminine energy. These are very feminine planets coming in here, but feminine energy with a connection and relationship to the earth. I'll talk about them in just a moment. So before I dive into the kind of extra guidance that will come through in each of the readings, let me first of all just say welcome to everybody. I have been very slow this week at checking in with comments from last week's readings, so if I haven't yet responded to you, my apologies. I will try to actually get to all of those by the end of today. Now, I am actually recording this on Saturday, the day before. I will get these uploaded and ready to launch out to you very early tomorrow morning. I will actually be leaving here tomorrow morning at about 5 a.m. in UK time, just before, in fact, the moon enters Taurus. She enters Taurus tomorrow at 5:47 a.m. exactly here in the UK. I will be spending the best part of the day in ceremony, actually. It's a very big event that I'm attending to outdoors with appropriate social distancing, but with a very small group of people. Very privileged and honoured to be able to be there and to be a part of that. I will be connecting in and voicing prayer that connects to every single one of you, everyone who tunes into these readings. So if you find yourself experiencing something at some point during the day, you'll know I'm tuning in with you, holding prayer for you. So that is why I'm recording today. It's a very beautiful day here in the UK, and I can see our beautiful grandmother moon up in the sky at the moment, in our daytime sky, just a little slither. Our skies are beautifully blue, and there she is overlooking these readings. She's currently in Aries as I'm doing these readings, but we're tuning into the energy of tomorrow and the coming week. Anyone that is new to me, my readings, to this wonderful YouTube community that we have here, guys, you only just have to check out the comments to see the kind of people you're aligning with here. This is really a channel that is about spiritual guidance, helping people on that pathway of the spiritual warrior. I'm Jenny Florence. I will this week be making the announcement for the winners of, I have a monthly prize draw for my subscribers. It is a subscriber offer. You need to subscribe if you want to get notification of any of my readings. Press the little bell icon as well, and then add yourself to my subscriber email list. The link is in the information box below, and if you are a phone user, I'll put it in the comments as well, and the timestamps will be there. So if you don't want to listen to the extra guidance, if you already know from the thumbnail which reading or readings are calling to you, speaking to you, you know, that's fine. A lot of people like to listen to the additional guidance, and they also like to sit with me as I draw the runes and the cards. Very, very lovely cards we're drawing from today. 2 tarot packs very much connected to light. The Light Seers Tarot, the Tarot of the Light. We've got medicine cards, the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. The prize draw, I do give away a pack of these cards. It's a signed limited first edition pack. I also give away a free private reading. And for last month, I'm actually giving away a considerable number of crystals and little power packs with crystals and herbs in them. So do watch out for the announcement this week. So wonderful friends, let us move into the additional guidance. Let's first of all talk about Eris. Now Eris is a planet that is sort of very close to home for me because she sits in my birth chart. My moon and Eris are absolutely exact in conjunction, so very powerful influence for me. Now Eris is, she's the feminine warrior. She is the female warrior energy. She tends to have some slightly revolutionary kind of properties, but really what she kind of implies, and I think is bringing into the readings today, she implies the need to make decisions and to live on the basis of very deep principles. She's a paradigm shifter. She holds the truth. She stands for what she believes in. I remember listening to a really, really inspirational talk about Eris, and the person who was speaking said, you know, men, the masculine warrior energy, men will fight for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes it could be to defend, but on other occasions it could be for more ego-orientated reasons or competitive reasons. But he said women fight because they need to, and only when they need to. That's the divine feminine. You know, fighting is not on our agenda, but Eris has that warrior energy. She will fight and stand up for what she believes in. She is often about having a voice, but trying to have a voice in a way that will shift people's perspectives, and always coming from deep, deep, deep-seated principles. So that is the Eris energy that's going to be streaming into our reading number 1. Now, reading number 2, also very feminine, Haumea. Now, let me talk about Haumea and Makemake together for a moment, because both of these planets are associated with the energy of the earth, with the energy of nature. They are both about the natural world. So very interesting that they're coming into our consciousness at this time when the earth is really crying out for us to begin to address the way that we relate to her. Haumea is the feminine creation goddess connected to the earth, and Makemake is the masculine, the divine masculine love of the natural world. So they both connect to the natural world, but so Haumea is the Hawaiian goddess of creation. She's all about regeneration, actually shape-shifting as well. You notice her shape is actually an oval. It's because she moves quite quickly. She is spinning quite quickly, and so her energy is pulled in a particular way. The energy that she brings is about triumph over adversity, regeneration. It's a bit like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So I think tuning into reading number 2, we are looking at some kind of regeneration, possibly down to a cellular level, some really big, you've been pulled, almost magnetically pulled into some kind of transition. But it's really, really important, and it's a deeply, divinely feminine creative process. If we think about the feminine as being internal creativity and the masculine as being external creativity, you know, often we have to do the internal creative work and the internal shifting in order to then create the external. So reading number 2, tuning in with almost as if you have been magnetically pulled into a situation or circumstances where you are literally shape-shifting. You're changing, you're transforming, very much the phoenix rising from the ashes. Very powerful shift for some of you taking place. Makemake is the Polynesian. Again, although there's a deeply feminine aspect to Makemake, because it's very much, the energy is very much connected to the earth and to nature, but it's more the divine masculine. Again, the love of the natural world, but there's a degree of activism in this. Makemake was connected to the Birdman of Rapa Nui. So people would, the shamans of that time would go into meditation, and they would dream the dream for the tribe. They would come back with the knowledge, the wisdom, to show them what actions to take next in order to manifest for the good of the tribe, to create for the good of the tribe, but in harmony with nature and in harmony with the earth. So there's something about reading number 3 that is, it's got an active energy. I can literally feel it. It's buzzing like electricity. I know you guys are very intuitive and sensitive. Some of you may be picking up on that as I move my hand just towards this image that I created earlier for the sake of these readings. It's like there's electricity tingling in my fingers. And it may be for some of you that you're drawn to more than one reading here. It may be there's a natural flow, having a voice, moving into a creative, transformative position, finding your direction. So we will see. Anyway, let us now, having tuned in to that guidance, let's draw from the cards and the runes, and then, as I said, I will leave you to sit with your intuition. So we are going to draw from 2 different tarot packs. These are the Light Seers Tarot, and 3 from this pack. We're going to draw from the Tarot of the Light. These are a new pack. I've been working with them for a little while. I'm going to put that away. We can't really let you see. We can't really let you see which card has just shown up there. Otherwise, it would not be suitable for a pick a card reading. I'm actually going to cut 3 times here with these. So that's for reading number 1. That's for reading number 2. And that's for reading number 3. We will also draw from, I'm going to draw a medicine card as well, actually. Now, these are beautiful cards. I have been, both these packs are quite new to me. When I first get a pack, I tend to work with them personally for quite a while. I'll use them daily so that I really kind of bond, attune, and begin to align with the meanings and the messages from them. We go. We'll also draw from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, and there'll be just 1 card from this pack. Okay, fabulous. So, runes, and I think we'll place the runes on these images. Just the 1. Okay. So, wonderful friends, this is the time to sit with your intuition. See which of the readings, or sometimes it's more than one, is speaking to you. Pause the video if you feel you need to. Align with whichever reading is the most, resonating the most. You may want to come back later in the week, and if you're cross-watching for others as well, give yourself time to cleanse after you've listened to the reading that you're tuning in with for yourself before tuning back in on behalf of anyone else, friends, family, loved ones, partners, potential partners that you wish to tune in with. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community, and I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1, governed by the energy, the incoming energy of the female warrior planet of Eris. So very powerful feminine warrior energy. Now we have the rune of openings, but this is in reverse. Now, the rune of openings generally suggests that we find clarity if it's in its if it's upright, as it were, or the right way around. It means we know the direction we're going in, and in fact the energy is moving. This does speak of huge potential for transformation, for things moving forwards. The fact that it's in reverse is interesting. Sometimes that is asking us to pause, to notice something, to attend to something. At other times it can suggest that we ourselves are not clear. We are sometimes out of alignment with the energy of clarity. So let's see what our cards are showing to us. So we have difficult emotions. Let's move Eris up here, and our beautiful rune. We have difficult emotions. We have the card of Swan, the energy of Swan. In fact, I'm going to move these up here. I think we're still in camera, are we? Let me organise. I've got a new camera actually, guys, so if you're new to me, this will make no sense to you at all. But if you are, if you follow my readings on Sundays, you'll know the camera I had before, every time I moved the cards, it would sort of like come into focus and go out of focus, which is quite challenging to watch actually, I think. So I now have a new camera, which I hope will make the viewing a little bit easier and a bit more fluent. I hope the sound will be a little bit better as well, because I know some people find it harder to hear my voice. I have quite a soft voice. Right, we have the card of difficult emotions. We have the medicine card of Swan. We have the card of 14, the acceptance, harmony, which is interesting. This is the card of temperance in some tarot packs. Knight of Swords is in reverse. We have the Fool, we have the 10 of Pentacles. This is really, really clear, the message in this reading. I'm going to do some shifting of energy with the rune of openings. This card asks you, let's start, our starting point is here, difficult emotions. This card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. If we think of emotions as something that are very immediate, they really are a kind of ally on our journey. However, they can work against us if we don't listen to them, or we don't attend to something in the here and now, in which case if we have a block internally from the past, that can generate strong emotions that create like an internal roadblock. So I'm going to speak about that a little bit more in a moment. It connects to the overall message here, which is very, very clear. The medicine of Swan is about entering the dream time, but very specifically entering the dream time through a state of grace and surrender and acceptance, which is interesting because then we have the card of the acceptance. This reading is really saying you're in a process of creation, and I feel like there's sort of a sense of urgency around you. There's something you guys really want, and I think you feel very passionately about it. You know, we have the Eris coming in, this wonderful feminine warrior energy. Now sometimes Eris is astrologically considered to bring the energy of those things we are dissatisfied with, but if you think about it, if you're dissatisfied or you're unhappy, those emotions are giving you really good information, because that's the starting point of launching a rocket of desire. It's quite interesting. I was saying at the beginning of these readings, Eris is very powerful for, depending on her position in your chart, she's very powerful for me. She sits in exact alignment with my moon. And what I notice every month, when the moon passes my moon, conjunct my moon, and therefore is conjunct my Eris, I'm really fired up. I'm very fired up about things. I will find often stuff from the past might surface, and I need to attend to that in order to use that energy. If you think about emotions as energy in motion, if we're using that energy, we can use it to figure out how we want to move forwards. If you are unhappy or dissatisfied with something, or something didn't go well in the past, we can ruminate and go over and over it, in which case we generate more of the same difficult emotions. But if we listen to those emotions in the context of defining what we want from a situation where there was something we didn't want, we can channel that energy. I've actually learned literally once a month, I know when, you know, the Eris is really strongly activated by the moon. For me, I know that that is a time when it's very, very helpful for me to be really mindful and not be reactive, but listen very, very carefully to anything that's filtering through, because it tells me what I'm needing to attend to, whether I'm processing something from the past and letting it go, or I am defining where I want to go and what the next step is. If we're not aware of that process, then I think our direction sort of becomes hindered in some way. We can become shrouded. Now, the swan medicine is really interesting because it is connected to entering the dream time and therefore discovering the pathway forwards. But it comes through acceptance and grace, where we know that there is a bigger picture. So we have trust in the universe, we have faith in the universe. Every disappointment, for example, every experience we have that didn't work out, rather than feeling enraged about the injustice of it, we use the experience to define our sense of justice about moving forwards, to give us the values that we feel passionately about, to give us that voice, to find a way forwards that is about right action. And so there is something about the energy of swan that helps us to accept the benefit from every situation. I feel as though some of you are needing to either have a voice, or you've had situations where you didn't have a voice, and something of that needs to be processed. You're also moving in, very specifically, you're manifesting. There's something you really, really want. So I've got that real sense of desire, and I can feel it. This is a heartfelt desire that's within you, and I can feel that heart energy. It's like my heart is swelling. And that is coming for some of you from things that haven't gone well. For others, it's just that absolute desire. There is something you really want to manifest. This is very much about manifestation. It's about clearing the fog. Now, the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords in reverse. The message for me is really clear. Now, when we get Knight of Swords in an upright position, it's kind of like go, go, go. You know what you want. You're orientated through a clear direction, and off you go. You're going for it, literally. This is not in a negative position as a shadow side. I think what we're being asked in this reading, very specifically for you guys, is to slow down. Okay? It's almost as though sometimes if we are very goal orientated, we decide what we want, we decide all the steps and things we can do to get there, actually we can be in such a fixed position that we lose sight of the opportunities that are available to us in the here and now. It's almost as though this reading is really saying slow down. Check in on anything that hasn't worked for you, for sure, or whatever. Listen to if you're experiencing frustration because something isn't moving forwards. Again, it may be not that you need to act on that frustration, but kind of the opposite. Accept that there is a lesson here for you to learn. As you accept it, you will be able to, with grace, align yourself with a much greater universal dream time, and the way will become clear. We are going to do some shifting of energy within this reading. Very interesting. We have the Fool and we have the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, this is the dreams come true card, and the Fool, new beginnings. I think whatever you are manifesting, let me move these cards over just a little bit here. Okay, so whatever you are manifesting, the key to the emergence of that, to the actual formation in real terms of those manifestations, is acceptance and a recognition of the clarity you're being given through an experience, I think, that perhaps probably wasn't right, or it isn't moving forwards. Now, remember, we are now full on in the middle of Mercury retrograde season. We are also in the middle of eclipse season. During eclipse season, things can happen very, very quickly. During Mercury retrograde, we often experience hold-ups, delays, problems. I've had 3 things from an IT perspective that went wrong today when I was trying to set up the new camera, and then my internet wasn't working and all sorts of stuff. And I just kind of thought to myself, that's okay. Maybe I'm needing to see something else, or tune in with something else, align with something else, in order to just slow down. And it was quite curious. I gave myself kind of permission to slow right down and become a little bit more playful. And it was during that time that I began to sort of realise there were some other approaches that I could take in setting up the camera, and I think hopefully I've arrived at a better solution. But I needed to just slow down and step away from it was that goal orientated energy, the frustrations, and just become more attuned and aligned with the universe. Mercury in retrograde really invites this from us. We tend to see it as a really frustrating period where, we get stuck in traffic. Wonderful example, actually, that happened to me earlier this week. I ended up having a really long chat with somebody who pulled off the motorway because they were just stuck in a traffic jam that was literally at a standstill. We had an amazing catch up. Now, that conversation would never have happened had there not been that delay. But, I'd sent him a text about something. He would not otherwise have been able to respond. And actually something very creative has emerged from that conversation that we then had. He just thought, well, why not? I'll pull over, and on the off chance I'll phone and see if she's available. I was. So again, it was like, actually, the interruptions created a space in time in which a window of opportunity that was unexpected for us both emerged. But had either of us been, just determined to sit with the frustration, or in his case the frustration, or in my case, just not, you're getting the gist of it anyway. I won't go into the realms of it, but you understand, I'm sure, what I'm saying. You're really being asked to step away from the human-centric position of things, not try to force something, literally go with the flow. As you go with the flow, your voice will be heard, and the way will be shown. Now, let's do some energy shifting here, because this reading is divided for me in 2. We have difficult emotions with the advice of Knight of Swords in reverse. Take time to listen to your emotions. There's some processing to do in order to gain clarity. As you slow down and don't be reactive, I know I can be when Eris passes my Eris and my Moon. I've learned this from my monthly experience of the passion that I feel at that time. I need to slow down enough to channel that energy appropriately. Remember, emotions, energy in motion. I'm going to use a piece of selenite here. Wonderful, wonderful energy of the moon. I'm going to place this in here. I'm going to create that division. Okay, so let's just sit with the reading as we are for a moment. Tune in with this energy. When we create a boundary here, we're prepared to stop, accept with grace any hold-ups, delays, that any difficulties in the past have actually been there to give us a greater sense of clarity, of discernment, of our principles, our values. That in itself, as we stop, allows us to step into the dream time, but a dream time where we can see into the future. Swan energy looks into the future, but with an awareness that the universe is orchestrating around us, and that even a challenge will bring us the gifts that we need in order to find the clarity to move forwards. We shift this rune into its upright position. So we had it in reverse. I'm going to shift it into its upright position, out of fog, out of light, out of darkness into light, out of fog, the fear, obligation, guilt kind of stuff. We move with ease. We glide like a swan through the water. We have acceptance. We live in harmony. This in itself creates a new beginning. And this new beginning leads to the fruition of, I mean, this is the card of abundance, I want to say. Whatever you are manifesting, whether it is a different work pathway, whether it's a relationship, family situation, whatever you are manifesting, the grace and the acceptance of the lessons the universe has been bringing you, that lovely feminine energy that says we don't always move in a straight line, we take a more curved and gentle road, and we are shown what we need to see in order to become masters, mistresses of that co-creativity. We have to be able to acknowledge and validate the role of spirit, the role of the learning in every situation, and that creates the new beginnings that are leading to fruition. Whatever you are manifesting, don't keep pushing and pushing to make it happen. This reading is saying practice the art of allowing. Slow down, process anything from the past, let it go. Your voice is valid, your desires are valid. Wonderful friends, I don't think I need to say anything else, but I really just want to say, but perhaps just big respect. This level of living is conceptually understandable and harder to achieve because it goes against the grain to step into the unknown, to be prepared to trust, to sit with faith, to think, well, even though that didn't work out, it doesn't mean my dreams won't come true. It doesn't mean I can't manifest my desires. Actually, there's learning to be had here. And once I take stock of that and I step into a place of trust and faith, the Dreamtime doorway will open for me and the way into the future will become clear. That is, I need to say, from a human perspective, especially in our Western culture, that is harder to do than we think. You know, in principle, it makes sense to us, but it's, you know, often we have a lot of wobble. This is really inviting you not to have that wobble. Touch base with the feminine warrior within. Trust your desires, the validity of your desires. And yes, glide forwards like a swan in a space of acceptance and grace. Wonderful friends, so much love to you. I will be holding you in my prayers today as I sit in ceremony. Indeed, I will hold those prayers for your intentions and your desires. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2, governed by the energy of Haumea, the Hawaiian goddess of creation, an absolute master, I want to say, but mistress really of creativity, internal creativity, regeneration, triumph over adversity. Now we have the rune of Othilla, separation here. This is interesting. Othilla speaks, this is fascinating because Haumea is the energy of transformation. She shapeshifts, she moves. I really did say, as I was looking at the tuning in with the additional guidance, I felt that there was quite a massive transformation kind of at a cellular level taking place for you guys. And, you know, this rune of separation, Othilla, speaks of exactly that. It's like a snake shedding its skin. It's moving into a new phase of life. Now, Othilla does speak of inheritance as well. It's basically a rune of gain through transformation. We gain something, we inherit something, something good comes because we let go of something. So it's not just something coming into your world as it stands, it's something coming into your world because you actually let go of something. So there is a very specific letting go, a separation from something in order to grow into the next phase and stage. So what do we have? We have the card of opportunity. We have a blank card. This is really interesting. The wheel, breakthrough. Wow. Death, rebirth, 6 of Cups and the Chariot. Wow. Okay, so this is all about transformation, separation, but the opportunity that comes from this, the shape shifting, the breakthrough, the transformation, the wheel turning. Blank card in the middle. Now in this pack, the blank cards are there in many ways for us to write on or draw on for ourselves. The author of these cards offers us several blank cards within the pack and invites us, when we draw one, it's kind of saying, what do you want to create? Here's a space. It's a bit like the blank rune. It's a space of opportunity. What would you like to create? What do you want to make happen? Everything here is saying, go for it, okay? However, you have to let go of something in order to move forwards. This is this regeneration at a cellular level. It's interesting that both Homea and Marke both connect to the earth, to the land, so to physical stuff, physical matter. So does Othilla. Sometimes Othilla connects to real property. We have to kind of move. We literally have to physically move house. It sometimes literally says you're going to be moving house. Opportunity. This card speaks of new opportunities, although they may not necessarily come in the form that you were expecting. Be alert, look beyond the obvious, be prepared for opportunities disguised as loss. If a new pathway opens for you, trust that it is leading you in the direction that you are meant to go. The blank card associating with the blank rune, it's a space of possibility. Sometimes the rune of separation can feel difficult. It's like there's something we're either clinging to or holding on to, or we're staying in a safe zone. But actually everything in this reading is saying to you, it's definitely time to shift and move. You've outgrown something. Something that was appropriate to the phase or stage of your life as you were is no longer appropriate for you. It is time to move forwards. It is time to move beyond. There is a window of opportunity around you. Now, if we tune into the fact that we are in eclipse season where things can happen quickly, eclipse season opens a kind of time portal where it's almost as though we can view the past, the present and the future simultaneously. Doorways can open, especially karmic doorways. So I feel as though doorways are opening for you. The wheel, the breakthrough is coming. There is something being offered to you, but you do have to let go of something in order to move through that doorway. But it creates a new horizon. Now there's a bit of looking back going on here. There's like a bit of nostalgia. You know, when you look back, you cast your mind back. Now in my library, so for those of you that are new to me, the A to Z of Emotional Health library, www.azemotionalhealth.com. I've brought it up on the screen for you. This is a completely free resource. It was my parting gift to my profession as a counsellor when I sort of started really moving into more spiritual work. You know, I moved away from mainstream counselling into more spiritual work in a more public way. The library is something of a gift. It's there. It's a completely free resource. It will always be a free resource. It's full of audios, videos, blogs, articles, things that teach you about psychology and emotions and transitions and how to navigate through difficulties and through things. It's like a big self-help library. In the psychology of emotion section of the library, there are a couple of videos. One is called The Sadness of Change, and the other is, I think, no, maybe it's The Sadness of Moving Forwards and The Wobble of Change. Those are the two of them. But in them, I'm talking about the emotions that we feel as we navigate transition. Because even if we are stepping into a space of new opportunity and it's a breakthrough and it's everything we've ever wanted, we very often experience both a wobble and also an element of sadness. And we kind of think, why am I feeling this way? Why do I have melancholy around me? There's no need for it because I'm moving forwards. I'm transitioning. This is what I want. But it's completely natural to have that emotional undertone because we are leaving something behind. Even if you're leaving something that was awful behind and you're moving into something better, We grieve in a way for what hadn't worked out. If we are moving from a good place in life to a new chapter, we grieve for the fact that that chapter is over and it's now time to start afresh, or however you look at it, there is this process. Everything here is moving forwards, and I want to say it's moving forwards fast. There is just the need to let go of something. And if an opening is shown to you and it's unexpected, I really want to say take the plunge and go for it. Let me just remove that information away about the library. So we just go back to our cards and our runes. Something is demanding that you let it grow. You've outgrown something. This is very, very clear, this reading. You have outgrown a situation, and an opportunity or opportunities are being offered to you, and they are major breakthroughs. Something really significant is about to change, to happen, to move forwards. We are in eclipse season. It can happen quickly. This is so perfect and right for you at this time. This is a really appropriate shift and change. Yes, there may be a little bit of looking backwards. So don't get caught in it. Tune in with those audios. If for some reason you feel you've got an undertone of melancholy, or you're having a bit of a wobble about walking into a space of the new, this reading is really calling you to trust and take that leap. Things are moving forwards very quickly. It's interesting, these readings are very much about manifestation. They're about manifestation. They are about the energy that is around us in eclipse season and how that's affecting our process of manifestation. They are also tuning in with the Mercury retrograde period, where sometimes something unexpected can happen and it's actually an opportunity. Even if it's an opportunity disguised as a loss, trust if something doesn't come through, there is going to be something else that's better tomorrow, that's more appropriate for you. There is a need to let go. Something you guys are wanting is in process of emerging. I said right at the beginning, interestingly enough, that these readings, they seem to potentially, when we were just tuning in to the energy of Eris, of Haumea and of Makemake, that there was a flow of energy of transition even through all three. And that does seem to be the case. They do seem quite connected, although at different stages of manifestation. But I want to say, guys, breakthrough is coming. You are literally letting go of something and moving on, moving forwards, embracing the new. Everything is going to start happening very quickly, but this is a huge shift and change for you guys. It's something that's really, really appropriate for you. Wonderful energy of Haumea, this shape-shifting energy, where of course she spins very quickly, which is why she gets pulled into this sort of oval shape. It's because, you know, literally you've been pulled, some of you, into a situation. I do hear for some of you there is a situation that has really been quite significantly challenging. And I want to say you've been pulled into that situation in order to almost push you. Actually, again, the universe will always have the upper hand to push you to make some choices that will create the opening for the things that you actually truly desire and want. But you do need to let go of something in order to create the space for the new to come in. Wonderful, friends, very powerful readings of manifestation this week. Very, very powerful. And big respect to you guys. It just feels as though the readings this week are so aligned with all of you who are consciously working at manifesting yourselves and your world through into this. We are in the dawning of a new age, and there is so much accelerated growth and change that isn't always easy for us, but my goodness me, it moves us forwards as individuals. And also every individual act that you create of empowerment and positivity fuels the higher consciousness of the collective humanity as well. So big respect and so much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the rune of constraint sitting next to the divine masculine creative energy of Marquet Marquet. So very interesting. There's an energy of something around you. Maybe you're needing to pay attention, cross the T's, dot the I's, attend to some details. This rune often speaks of, you know, when fishermen can't go to sea, they mend their nets. But there's a feeling of something not quite moving forwards. The energy of constraint is around you. Let's have a look and see what we are shown in your cards. So we have the card of collaborate. Sometimes we're called to develop our self-sufficiency, and this can be a valuable road to travel in the discovery of our unique and individual gifts. But this is not the same as trying to do everything yourself all the time. This is not a time to go it alone. It is a time to unite and work with others. We have lizard energy, lizard medicine. We also have the Two of Hearts union. So yeah, partnership, relationship is around you, whether this is personally and personal intimate relationships and it's about coming together with someone, or taking a relationship to a higher level of moving forwards, or whether it's in search of a new relationship, personal or business. It is time to collaborate. It's time to be working in unison, to bring together the aspects of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, not just within you in balance, but also literally in real terms with others. You need help with something, or you need to connect and align with others. I almost feel as though you've been going it alone in some way, and that actually has kept relationship support from you. And actually, this is the restrictive energy. It's kind of that feeling here of, you know, two hands are better than one, or many hands make light work. There's that feeling that it's time to relinquish something of the past that has actually restricted and ultimately held you back. Now, I think some of you have put up a kind of a defense around you. It's like a suit of armor. That's what I'm kind of being shown. It's like a bubble of energy around you where you've been very caught up in doing everything yourself. It's like this profound energy of self-sufficiency, which is marvelous. And I think you've developed some amazing skills, but actually it's blocking you from the help that you need to really, really become connected to manifesting in a much bigger way. Now, interestingly, these readings are all about manifestation this week. It's been fascinating. This reading is saying to you, look, for you to be, firstly, align your goals. Align your goals and the actions you wish to take. Marquet Marquet, remember, is the Polynesian god who inspires actions that change the world. You know, that there's something very powerful. The Rapa Nui, the Birdman, the energy of meditation for the collective. Again, it's about, this reading is about aligning yourself with goals and orientations that move you into a space of manifestation that connects you to a bigger picture and allows you to collaborate with people. There's something about not going it alone. It's quite interesting. I feel like I'm being flooded with different messages coming in. So I will try to just draw from what I'm hearing with as many specifics. The theme is the same for all of them, but I'm seeing them being applied. It's like lots of different, it's like a web weaving out. And of course, you know, these readings are generic. They are applying to your unique and individual circumstances. So I'm going to try and bring in some of those individual threads that are really calling. The fundamental theme is to do with collaboration. It's to do with overcoming a sense of needing to do everything yourself, whether that has evolved through circumstances that caused you to have to do that. As I said, there's like a suit of armour around some of you. For others, it's caused you not to show your vulnerabilities, to present yourselves in the world as being very good at everything or trying to be good at everything. I'm not saying, you know, none of us are ever good at everything, but you know, there's something about never showing our vulnerabilities because we learned that we could be targeted that way. But actually, you've reached a time in your life when you need genuinely to be able to develop discernment, so don't open yourself wide open to everybody, but allow the right people to come in. Lizard medicine speaks of, it's the medicine of dreamers, and this card asks us to pay attention. Listen to your dreams. You're being drawn into some kind of a union or a partnership with someone. You're being called to collaborate, and yet there is an energy of restriction around you. For some of you, the circumstances around you are actually basically you need help, you need support, you need to be able to delegate, you need to be able to collaborate. You're manifesting and you're doing so much on your own, you're spinning so many plates, you simply cannot continue with this. You're going to burn out, you need help for you to fully manifest. And the process is there for you. We'll do some energy shifting in a minute. For you to really manifest the things you wish, you need to be working with others. The projects, the circumstances you're in are way too big for one person to manage. And it's history that has stopped you or caused you to be guarded. It's sort of time to learn to trust that the right people will come to you and that you have the ability to be discerning and to make choices along the way. But definitely the theme is collaborate. Now, pulling those threads through. If you are drawing into your world a soulmate connection, a soulmate union, there's something around you that's inhibiting that. And again, maybe you have learned to be so self-sufficient that it's almost as though there isn't space for anyone to come in and help you. You've developed all these skills, but actually it's keeping the relationship of your dreams away. You're needing to dream yourself into a space where you can literally dwell in a space of how it will be to have that support, that help, that partnership, to trust that it can come in that loving, intimate relationship. It's something is needing to be, your guard is needing to come down, you're needing to create a shift. Queen of Swords, she can be a little bit icy. She can be a little bit so independent that she kind of keeps people at a distance. If you are needing help with a business in some way, you're needing a business partner, or again, it's really, really time to allow yourself to move into a creative space where others can support you and you allow that support in. Now, I'd like to do some energy shifting. I'm seeing so many threads. Again, I think part of the threads, the web we're weaving, is that I am being shown that you are weaving a web and you are needing to bring in support and others to expand. There's opportunity for expansion around you, for growth, for connection to the bigger picture, and for your dreams to align and be in harmony with the bigger picture. But for you to successfully move forwards, you do need to shift this essence of constraint around you. You have got to let down something of your guard. You've got to literally allow yourself to receive. That's what I want to suggest. So I think I'm going to bring in the energy of some crystals here. So we're going to do a little bit of card shifting, energy shifting within the reading. So what I hear, you guys, is you are quite in tune with the masculine creative force within you. You're good at doing stuff. You've learned to be self-sufficient. But it's time to actually allow support, allow yourself to receive, and sort of trust that the energy that comes in will be good and right. You don't have to be so, you don't have to be so self-sufficient. It's almost as if it's become isolating, so what we are going to do is shift the energy. So I'm going to move the energy of constraint down here. Cross the T's, dot the I's. Press the pause button. Now, we are in eclipse season. Things can happen very, very quickly. Doorways can open, but we can only step through them if we can allow ourselves to receive those possibilities. Mercury's in retrograde, so it may feel as though things aren't moving forwards or emerging as you would like, but actually you need some help here. So cross the T's, dot the I's, get yourself still, move into a space of dream time. Remember the energy of Rapa Nui. Birdman would dream in the next steps that needed to be taken for the greater collective tribe. So there's something about becoming a part of a tribe rather than going it alone. Now I am going to now bring in two angels. I'm going to bring in, excuse me while I reach across the camera, I'm going to bring in two tiger eye angels first of all. Now particularly tiger eye. Tiger eye is, it's said to bring good luck to the wearer, but it's a stone of protection, it's a stone of transformation. What's interesting is I find if I sit with tiger eye, especially when I meditate, it's kind of like the answers come. Because again, you're needing to lower your defenses a little bit, also to be shown the way to move into the dream time, because I do think your direction is going to become quite clear. I'm going to also just sit with the energy as we are at the moment, so it's like we're allowing ourselves to get still. So if we think of constraint not as an energy of just restriction and frustration, but actually of a message to slow down, get still, meditate, lean into that space of dream time, knowing that actually we are going to need help with this, and we're going to have to navigate and work with the resistances within us in order to allow that support to come in. So we sit here as we are now. I'm now going to create another division here in the reading. I can feel the energy actually, almost feels it's a bit like a flower opening. I can feel it shifting as I'm moving the cards over. So I'm now going to bring in a different alignment of angels, crystal angels here. So first of all, I'm going to bring in honey calcite. Now, honey calcite is a stone of leadership. We don't want you to lose the skills you've developed in being empowered and being a leader. We want you to maintain those, your own sense of empowerment. But we also want you to be open and available to receive support, to be open to receive love. So I'm going to bring in also a rose quartz angel, and also actually another green aventurine as well, because green aventurine is about nurture. So we bring in these other beautiful crystals. Now I can actually feel the energy shifting here. As that energy shifts, okay, these cards can move into an upright position. It creates completely different energetic flow. So in terms of manifestation, the Queen of Pentacles, she can dream in everything that she wishes to manifest for herself, because she is still, rather than holding it only in her mind and trying to make it happen, she actually is able to move into that dream time space, hold her vision, but her vision is now flowing from the heart rather than just through her mind. And because of that, everything in her external world starts to manifest and fall into place. It is as though a shift is required here. You are needing to slow down, move into a space of dream time, and create a shift where you will allow yourself to receive. In doing that, whether it is love, business partnership, general support, whatever aspect of your life is needing collaboration, you can begin to manifest this in with trust and belief through this shift. We need to lower the suit of armour. You're not going to give up your skills of leadership. Your independence has been something that you have had to work very hard to win and to earn. But you are needing to relax a bit to the point where you are not in charge of everything. You are in charge. You're in charge of yourself. You're in charge of your dream time, but you also allow yourself to receive. The universe wishes to give to you. The universe wishes for you to enter a space of dream time that will align the abundance you desire with not just the abundance in your own world, but your place within the greater collective as well. This rune is really lovely, the rune of constraint. Sometimes it just feels really restrictive. At other times, it's really just saying, slow down. Mercury's in retrograde. Stop, take some time out. Stop trying to make stuff happen. You need to collaborate. Work out what it is you need to process and move into to allow yourself to fully receive in a space of trust. Remember, you're going to be discerning, so you can always, navigate through everything. You don't have to be afraid that things are going to go wrong. Actually, I want to say, believe in miracles. Start to believe that everything is going to go right, and allow yourself to sit into that space of, where you are feeling it from the heart rather than just within your mind. Whatever that may be, as I said. Career, creative ventures, relationships, family, moving house, whatever you are bringing in, whatever you are manifesting, you need to collaborate for this to happen. You need to allow somebody else into your zone. Wonderful friends, this is really very, very powerful shift of energy, very much about stepping into the dream time. If you are really struggling to see the next step in your world, do listen to your dreams. You can invite something into your dreams when you go to bed. You can invite, you can invite and ask to be shown things. If you tend not to recall your dreams, you can actually sort of set an alarm clock at sort of, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock or whatever. Because if you wake up, your dreams will be immediately there. Sometimes we move into a deep sleep after our sort of dream time sleep, and then by the time we then wake up, we're disconnected from them. So we can also put in place those things to help and support us tune into our dreams. But I do feel the way is being shown to you, and there is something of a resistance that is in the way of you moving into that space of abundant manifestation in terms of your heart's desires. So whatever that is for you, and I am seeing a massive web. These are all about manifestation, and do remember eclipses and things can happen quickly if we can align with the energy in a really appropriate and collaborative way. Wonderful friends, big respect to you all. These readings are about manifestation. They are really very much about people who are living with that conscious pathway of co-creation. The lessons that we learn and move through that contribute not just to our own well-being, but to the collective higher consciousness of humanity. So big respect and so much love to you. Namaste.